Welcome back to the Lights Lounge, your weekly home for all things Las Vegas Lights FC. As always, we're here every week for insights, analysis, and everything that happens on and off the pitch with a new guest every single week. This week, we've got midfielder Marc Ybarra on the pod. Welcome to the Lights Lounge, Marc.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
First things first, when you were coming in, we signed you, and I said, great, we got another bilingual Spanish-English speaker. And I was shocked to hear that you didn't speak Spanish because your name kind of makes it seem that way. Do you get that reaction a lot?
Plenty.
Yeah. Yeah. Melissa told me, our social media coordinator, because I was just assuming it for a couple weeks.
Right.
So she told me, Marc doesn't speak Spanish, right? Like I had no idea. I was about to put you on Spanish media appearances, but let's dive into it. I want to talk about stuff off the field or on the field first. You joined the club this offseason after coming here from Rhode Island. You've made 7 appearances for the Lights across all comps so far. How's your transition been to Las Vegas and into the team itself?
Yeah, I'd say smooth.
Yeah.
I hadn't played in a team with any of the guys before, but all of them are great, super welcoming, and honestly, the biggest bonus and transition has been being able to train and play on grass every day. It's been amazing, honestly, and the weather in Vegas so far has been amazing. So I feel lucky to get to keep playing and play on grass every day. It saves the body a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Because Pittsburgh and Rhode Island, all part of your pro career, all artificial turf. Was Michigan artificial turf as well when you played at college?
Michigan was grass.
So you were in grass
nice.
in college, but for the last 5-6 years of your pro career.
Yeah, it takes a toll.
Yeah, for sure. What is your best role in midfield? What do you view yourself as? Because we've seen you in a couple different roles. Like I know Rhode Island, you often play deeper as a more true destroying defensive midfielder. Here at the Lights, we've seen you in that role. We've seen you in kind of a box-to-box 8 role. Right. I've even seen you just playing right up underneath the striker and crashing into the box on third-man runs. Where do you feel comfortable? What kind of midfielder do you see yourself as?
Yeah, I like to play anywhere on the field. I like to play, but
minutes,
I think
right?
I think ideally I love playing the 6 or the 8. My favorite spot to play is when I play with 2 6s, so that I can go more box-to-box. I love being able to do the defensive work, kind of having a guy next to you that can free you up to go press, that can free you up to go crash the box, try to get in there late, try to get assists, try to get a couple goals. I love both of them. Center mid, anywhere in there is great. But my favorite is kind of playing with 2 6s where I can go be more box to box.
Yeah, I think we've seen the team evolve a little bit more towards that system. There's a big group of central strikers on this team, so you often want to play with 2 up front, which means playing in that double pivot often. What does Devin ask of you in that system when it is those 2 pivots and you're playing next to someone like Giorgio Probo or Kyle Scott or Carson Locker?
Yeah, I think just what we're trying to accomplish as a team is obviously we're scoring goals and our games have been exciting, but also we're conceding goals. So I think
we're a great team for the neutral right now.
Yeah, great team for the neutral. I think coach, what he's looking for is as much stability as we can provide. So I think when we're playing in there with Kyle or Giorgio or whoever it is, whatever formation it is, I think what he's looking for most is making sure that we're responsible so that if one guy goes, one guy is holding, or if both the outside backs go, both of us are holding to give that balance and structure so that we're not conceding on the counter. And as long as we're providing that structure, then hopefully we start to get better results in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask about that because the team's main issue right now is conceding goals. The goals on the attacking end have come really easily. What for you is the biggest improvement the team needs to make in order for the defensive record to start cleaning up?
Yeah, I think it's not one position, it's not one guy, it's all over the field. I think we need to really just buckle down and we need to win in our own box. We're winning in the opponent's box right now when we cross balls, when we get ourselves near their goal. Our guys are doing a great job putting away goals, but we're not winning in our own box and we're not being responsible enough, tracking runners into the box and just being sturdier back there and really kind of taking a stand.
Yeah, because I think you played for some Rhode Island teams when you made a run all the way to the USL championship final that were very defensively sturdy, played on the counter quite a bit, those kinds of things. Being a part of teams like that, what are some of the intangible things that help you get those types of results? just in general.
No, I think generally it's just commitment and buy-in. I think belief in what we're doing. I think just guys believing that we are good enough, we are strong enough to keep opponents from scoring on us. And just having that stubbornness to not concede, even if we give up a chance here or there, just having that stubbornness and belief that we're not going to concede and we're going to be able to keep them from scoring.
Yeah, after the last game in the Cup against Boise, obviously Knight scored, so I pulled him for post-game media, and he was saying something similar because he got asked a question by a reporter in that pool report, and he was just saying at the end of the day, it's partially just a mentality. We just got to kind of grind out some results. Right. We can sit here and talk about tactics and those kinds of things all day, but sometimes it's just about wanting it a little bit more. And maybe it's just that edge that a group that's relatively new, like you said off the top, you haven't played with a lot of these guys before. Sometimes it takes time to develop that collective identity.
For sure. And I think we know in the locker room that we have a hardworking group. We have guys that want to win. We have guys with great mentalities that work hard, and every day in training we're working hard, we're competing, we're intense, but it's just putting that together on match day of not having a single switch off on the field, of everyone being able to put together 90 minutes together, having each other's backs, pulling each other up, keeping each other locked in, and so that there's not a single minute that we're switching off and letting in a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Lexington are an interesting team coming up this Saturday at home. They've got a lot of really talented players. Aaron Malloy in midfield, one of the best midfielders in this league. Ordonez at the back, Philip Goodrum up top, former LAFC midfielder Latif Blessing. What have you guys seen from them? You don't need to give away state secrets, but what are you anticipating this game to look like?
Yeah, I think, we've watched some film on them. I think, we know how they like to play. We know that a lot of it does go through Aaron. I've played a couple seasons with Arturo in the back. I've played against Aaron since college. So it's always nice going into those games, knowing those guys pretty well. And it's always fun to go out and compete against them. I think, we just know that it's a home game for us. We have to bring the intensity. We have to be on the front foot from the beginning. And kind of like Knight said, kind of like I'm saying, we just need to have that mentality to grind out a result.
Yeah. Last question about the team and the performance in the past, just maybe more focused on you individually. How would you evaluate your season so far? What are you wanting to improve when you step on the field? You're like, I need to be doing this better, or I have been doing this well.
Yeah, I think a personal goal for me always is to impact both ends of the field. So I think at least in a couple of the games so far, I've felt I've been able to create good chances for us, which is something that I want to continue to do. Every game, I want to be able to say that at the top end of the field, I was able to create a big chance for us. And then on the other side, I think more just as a group, as a team, wanting to become more stubborn, wanting to obviously concede less goals. I think there's not necessarily one thing in my own defending or any one other person's defending. It's just that I want us to continue to come together as a group and be more solid and keep more clean sheets.
Sure. What's the competition for places like in training? I think it's a pretty deep squad. There's probably a couple guys in the squad that feel hard done by on their lack of minutes. And speaking to the central midfield group specifically, I mean, there's a lot of different profiles. There's a lot of guys competing for minutes. You've got a young guy like Carson Locker. You've got some experienced guys in this league like yourself and Kyle Scott. Giorgio's an interesting profile. Abraham Ogiere is a little bit more of an attacking player and has played a lot on the wing. What's the competition like in that group and in that midfield room?
Yeah, it's good. I think competition is always good. I think, when it's a big squad, of course, there are going to be guys who are left out of the 18, and it's never nice. I think competition always helps a group, and I think ultimately it's best just to look inward. I think, you're not looking at the guy next to you and hoping that he messes up. You got to approach it as he's going to do his best, I'm going to do my best, and hopefully I show the staff, hopefully I show my peers that I'm able to impact the team positively. I'm able to impact the game in the best way possible, and that way I can earn time on the field and help our team win.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I want to transition into your story. I think you've got a really interesting story, and you've got an interesting journey to arriving in Las Vegas, of all places. And I'm always really interested in these individual stories and spending some time diving into how you got here. So you're from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Right.
You played at Michigan. So you're like an Ann Arbor guy. Like you've spent, I think, all your life in Ann Arbor until you were 24 years old.
Basically.
What was it like growing up there? What's it like to live in Ann Arbor?
Yeah, it's a great college town. I grew up kind of on the north side of town, near the engineering campus and stuff. So my dad is a lecturer at the University of Michigan. So kind of just rewinding one step, my parents met in Irvine, California. So they're all from Southern California. All my siblings were born in Southern California. My dad's family was in Linwood, and then now they're all back in Irvine. But when my dad became a lecturer at Michigan, my family moved out to Ann Arbor. So I grew up there and played club there, played academy there in Livonia for Wolves. And then went to college at the University of Michigan, and it was great. Got to play 4.5 seasons and enjoyed it a whole lot.
Yeah, interesting. So coming to Las Vegas now is actually you're close to a lot of like extended family in Southern California.
Right. It was definitely a factor because they've pretty much all moved back. Can't really blame them. The weather's great.
A little bit better in Southern California than in Ann Arbor, right?
Yeah, a little more predictable, a little sunnier, a little nicer. So playing in Pittsburgh and Rhode Island is a long way from family. So it's been nice to be able to be a very quick plane ride or a 4-ish hour drive away from family and get to see them more often.
Nice. And play Orange County away consistently and not have to rely on the schedule gods gifting you with an away game in Irvine.
Yeah, so. It was definitely a bummer. I was suspended the first game against Orange County, but
I didn't even think about that.
I still traveled home and got to watch the boys play and stuff, so it was nice.
Yeah, suspended because you picked up a red card in the playoffs for Rhode Island. Right. So just for clarity there, not for anything else.
No, nothing here. Nothing here.
So are you the youngest sibling, if you were the only one born in Ann Arbor?
I am. I've got an older brother and 2 older sisters.
Okay, and your older brother played soccer as well, I think, right?
He
at
did.
University of Detroit Mercy.
He did.
Cool. And then your mom played field hockey at Cal.
Yes.
I'm not going to say I did the research. Gabe did the research.
Yes.
But you come from a pretty athletic family. It seems to be a very sports heavy family. Was that what it was like growing up?
For sure. I think definitely what got me competitive was playing soccer against my older brother Matt and both my older sisters too. Growing up, they all played soccer, and then my brother continued on in college in Detroit. My sisters continued soccer for a while, and one of them played some volleyball. So anyway, we were a big sports family. Played a lot of street basketball and stuff, and it got pretty competitive.
That's amazing. I feel like there's a whole pipeline of the youngest sibling being the one that turns pro because of playing with the older siblings and for that sharpening your development early on. You're part of that pipeline, I guess. You had that experience?
Exactly. A lot of frustrating days when you're young, but it prepares you well because you're playing against people who are bigger, stronger, better than you your whole life, losing, and eventually it's going to turn around.
Yeah, sure. You mentioned it, you played for Crew Soccer Academy Wolves for 4 years as a youth player, which is a development academy team at that time affiliated with the Columbus Crew. Right. Walk me through how that worked and what it was like playing there.
So the youth club is just Michigan Wolves. And then during my time there, academy was only U16 and U18. Those were the only academies when I was growing up. So I think when I finished U14, give or take, for Wolves, you graduate into the academy if you make one of those teams. And at the time, we still were based in Michigan, played all our games in Michigan and stuff, but the affiliate just meant that when some tournaments rolled around, like GA Cup, you could go play with Columbus if they, asked for you, and you would go play some games against MLS academies.
Okay, gotcha.
And so that was fun. It gave me a chance to travel to Montreal. We went to Dallas. So I went to 2 or 3 of those tournaments with them, and it was a great experience.
Okay, yeah. Well, so how many kids were getting called up?
3 or 4 usually.
Okay, so you need to be in the top percentage of that team, and then you're maybe getting onto that. Like,
I think, yeah, just about.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's interesting. Such a different soccer landscape. I mean, we're just about the same age. I mean, I'm February 2nd, 1999. You're December 98. So
right.
we were coming through the youth soccer system right around the same time, right. And the development academy system at that time looks like miles different from what it looks like now.
Right.
Just like a lot of the MLS club academies just like weren't really like up and running and online. Like,
they're just
so many more people our age like came through these like smaller clubs, and I feel like these independent clubs are sort of like getting choked out a little bit now. But I don't know, it's a different landscape. Yeah. But what was your development like playing for Michigan Wolves? Like, was there a time where you really took a step forward and realized like, oh, I'm gonna start to make it here? Like, this is something I could really make a living out of, or at least go play D1 soccer?
Yeah, it was great. So growing up, I played for kind of a local club when I was young. My dad had coached us. My mom and dad both always kind of coached mine or my siblings' teams, and so that was great. Like when you're young, 8, 9, 10, you get to play soccer. We got to play basketball. Yeah. No football, but soccer, basketball, whatever else you wanted to play, baseball. And then I think it was when I was 11 or 12. That was kind of when you had to make the decision: are you going to take soccer serious?
Sure.
So then at that age, you go play for Wolves, which was there were 2 or 3 big clubs, and they were one of them. So you start taking it pretty serious at that point, and then once you make academy, then you start taking it very serious. So that's at 14 years old or so. And I think, honestly, when I was coming through academy, my only goal was to play college. Like, right. I think that was kind of the only thing that I was thinking of at that time, because at the time I wasn't getting like college offers or anything. So, maybe my last year or 2 of academy is when I started getting attention from some schools and getting to visit some schools, and that was super exciting. And ultimately getting to land at Michigan was, it was a dream come true. I got to go there. I got to captain the team, so that was just an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, and I think while you're with Wolves, like the team was successful as well. You won your development academy division at one point.
Yeah.
So it seems like the team was properly good, and you guys were enjoying a lot of success.
We were always reasonably good. We were one of those teams. We were always like, whatever the ranking system was, I don't even know how it worked, but we were up there, and then we would always go to playoffs and kind of crash out of playoffs. But we were pretty good.
Yeah, interesting. So school was always the first option. It was always like, I'm going to figure out where I'm going to go play college, and then we're just going to go from there.
Yeah, I think kind of as you said, things are different, the landscape now, but at the time it was kind of a pipe dream to like go straight to pro. That wasn't really a thing. USL was still kind of, I don't want to say grimy, but it was a bit, you didn't even have a CBA at the time, so there were a lot of $0 contracts. So
absolutely,
that wasn't a real path, and versus now it probably is. So
yeah, it's becoming much more realistic for the college path to get skipped out on than it was at that time. Right. So you're starting to get recruited later on in your academy career. You end up at Michigan long term. What was the recruitment process like? Was it always like, man, if I get offered by Michigan, I'm going to Michigan? Was that the dream? Or
it was a little different. It was, I think they came in a little bit later in the process. So, there were definitely a couple others. Like, I got to visit Denver, which I thought was a really cool option.
And that's a great program as well.
Yeah,
like if you don't follow the men's soccer landscape, like Denver have always produced pro players. They're always in and around the NCAA tournament conversations.
Yeah, so that was a cool visit. The field was great. I was pretty excited about them. So I was definitely considering, a few different schools, and when Michigan, came into the picture and we were able to make that work. I think ultimately I was still weighing other options, but when it came down to it, it was one of those things that I get to represent my hometown. I get to represent my family and friends, and that was just, it outweighed everything else.
Yeah, sure. Stayed home though. Like I did the same thing because I'm from Charlotte and I played D2 soccer at Queen's University. And so I kind of ended up staying home. Yeah. Was that part of it where you're like, man, I really want to move away? Or like...
honestly, living on campus felt like moving away. Yeah. I'll say, like, I didn't feel like my parents aren't like, checking in on me all the time or anything. I was able to feel like I was away from home and still have that freshman year experience of like, all right, this is really brand new. I can send my laundry home to my parents, thank goodness. So there were those little helpful bits of being not too far.
Yeah. So your Michigan career from 2017 to 2021, it went all right. You're just like merely have the record for games played, games started, career minutes. You're second all time with 24 career assists. So I guess it went okay for you, huh?
Yeah, it was honestly, it went great. Was fortunate when I got there. I had the opportunity to compete for a spot right away.
Yeah.
I think, when you're looking at a school, you're not quite sure how it's ever going to go, but I knew that I had a chance to compete for a spot, and having trust from the staff there and the players there right away, it meant a lot.
Yeah.
I worked hard for the team, and we were able to, that first year we won Big Ten regular season. We went, to the NCAA tournament all 3 of those first years. So it was an unbelievable time.
Yeah. Cause then, we went into the college system like right at the same time. Like 2017 was also my freshman year.
Right.
So it was like those 3 years, and then the pandemic hit, and then everything got weird after that. Like I graduated in 3.5, so I just like completely I just graduated and lost my senior season.
Yeah.
But you stuck around for it. Right. So what was the decision-making process when COVID hit and playing that spring season, and then you came back for another year and used your extra eligibility? What was that like?
Yeah, I think it was one of those things that I loved, the school. I loved playing there. I loved pretty much everything about it. So when there was the option to, because we didn't get a proper last season, when there was the option to stay the extra fall semester and have that final season and try to make something happen with that group of guys, definitely wanted to take it, pounce on it, and try to make the most of it.
Yeah. I guess the good thing is, because of that COVID season and the extra year of eligibility, you'll probably hold those records forever. I don't even know if it's like mathematically possible, because you got like 11 games during COVID, but then got a full extra season. Right. You didn't really look like you missed time due to injury or anything at any point.
No.
So like, I think you'll hold those records forever.
I think it'll be pretty hard to catch. I think I'm curious. I don't think I've gone through it, but even if you took away the 11 games, I'm curious what it would look like. But luckily we've got them.
You've got them, and you hold on.
Yeah.
What was I haven't dove in season by season, and I mean, anyone that listens to these podcasts and listens to me talk to college players knows like this is my favorite part.
Okay.
Because I don't know, I just like love diving into like each little mini college season.
Right.
Because they're just so interesting.
Yeah.
Like they're always a unique group of guys. You're fitting a bunch of puzzle pieces together, and you're living on campus together, and you're like trying to make something happen. You guys had a couple NCAA tournament runs.
Yeah.
Like which season is most memorable to you from those 5 seasons you played?
Oh man. I'd say there were definitely a couple. I'd say like freshman and junior year. I think, because freshman year right away we were able to. It was actually an unbelievable ending to the year. So we were. Yeah,
I'm pulling up the schedule right now to see like the.
So it was great. So the year before I got there, the team had a really down year. I think the group of guys, maybe they had won 4 games all season, and so it was a really brutal 2016 or whatever it was. And so we came in knowing that there was a lot of work to do. There was great leadership in that team. We had. At the time, I think the captains were Ivo Serda and Robbie Mertz, and Billy Stevens. So it was a great group of captains, and they kind of brought the team together right away that year, knowing that we had to step it up. And so as a freshman coming in and having those kind of leaders, and ultimately we started the year pretty well. We're getting down toward the end of the year, and I think going into the final game of the season, we were in 3rd place.
Okay.
I believe this is how it went. We were in 3rd place behind Maryland and Michigan State, I want to say.
Okay. Playing Maryland.
Playing Maryland away on the final day. And so
we're ranked number 9 at the time, according to the schedule on the Michigan website.
So we knew in order to win the conference, we had to beat Maryland, and we had to have Michigan State not win. It was something like that. So we are going into the game. I remember right toward the beginning of the game, I played a corner. We scored it, feeling unbelievable, buzzing.
7th minute, by the way.
Oh, there we go.
I'm on it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Daniel Makuna scored that goal.
Yep. So it was an unbelievable start to the game. they made it super tough playing away at Maryland. They have an unbelievable atmosphere. So it's a tough away game. And I think it was 1-1, I want to say, at the end of regular time.
Yep.
And then it goes into golden goal.
Yep.
And
dude, golden goal overtime. Like, bring back golden goal overtime. Bring golden goal overtime into everything. Those are some of the best college memories. Is like scoring golden goal game winners. So I would love to hear about this golden goal.
So it was electric. So I think I can't remember. I get subbed off at some point late in the game.
Yeah.
And so I'm on the bench, and we're hearing on the bench Michigan State tied or lost or something. So we know that if we win the game,
it's all there.
It's all ours. So everyone's pumped. Everyone's excited. It's in extra time. And I think I still remember the goal. I think it started raining, cinematic, everything.
Amazing.
And I think it was Jack Hallahan had the ball out on the left wing for us.
Mm-hmm.
Serves it across. Francis Atuahene diving in at the back post, scores golden goal to win the conference.
Bench is clear. Everyone runs to the corner.
Oh my God, it was an unbelievable experience. I still remember. I can picture the scenes now. So it was unforgettable freshman season for sure.
I mean, I really do think that we need to bring golden goal into like just pro soccer, into like other things. Like genuinely, when I get asked like what are some of my favorite memories, like scoring golden goal overtime winners, and it's like that like difference in emotion, because when you lose a game in golden goal overtime, it is like one of the most brutal things. But it like has this like level of tension, because you're like, how brave should we be? Like, how much are we gonna go for it? Because if we get hit on the counter right now, it's gonna be brutal. I don't know. I just like I think it has such cinema to it.
No, I agree. I think golden goal, particularly like in extra time, I think it's just it's a great exciting way to play the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So NCAA tournament, did you guys, because you lost a heartbreaker 3-2 to Colgate in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Oh my gosh.
So as electric as the end of the regular season was, it seems like playoffs did not go super well for you guys that year.
Yeah, because we got a bye, so we were seated pretty high.
Yeah.
And then we had a home game, and we kind of blew it. But I think all those NCAA runs, we were either second round or we went to the Sweet 16 against Wake, and that was exciting. We played away at their place, but they were
2018. You guys lost to Notre Dame in an 11-10 penalty kick shootout.
Yeah, we had a couple of them.
Insane.
We had one against Princeton that I want to say went 14 rounds.
That's the same year.
Yeah,
you guys tied 1-1 against Princeton, won 11-10 in penalties, and then you lost 11-10 to penalties in Notre Dame the next round. That's insane stuff.
It was. We had a few of those. We would always play Notre Dame in playoffs because we were kind of in proximity wise. We were close. And Yeah, one of the years, I think it was actually my freshman year, I missed a penalty that ended our season. So that was brutal. But, that's just how it goes. The problem was it went 2 times around. I made my first penalty.
Oh, no.
And then I had to take it all over.
Come back
again.
Around.
Yeah, so honestly, at that point, I was just like...
Did you go the same way or did you go a different way?
Oh, God, I don't remember.
Did you overthink it?
I don't remember. I hit the target and the keeper saved it.
Okay. So, well, at least there's that.
Yeah, at least there's that.
At least there's that. Okay. Well, I mean, I could talk with you about like college stuff all day long, but we can't be here forever. So let's kind of... As your college career wraps up, I mean, you have a long 5-year college career. Mm-hmm. At what point did playing professionally actually enter the like realm of like, this is like a realistic next step for me?
Yeah, I think probably after a couple of years. Like I had a couple of successful seasons, and I knew that it was a real possibility after that. So, as it was wrapping up, I was thinking about doing 3.5 like you and trying to enter the draft or whatever. Didn't seem like it was going to, like I was one of those guys that if I do get drafted, it's going to be late on. You're going to go for a 2-week trial and you're going to get released. You know, that's how it is for 90%. So.
Yeah, we've talked about that with a lot of guys on this pod because you do have a lot of people in this league are kind of either got drafted and ended up in that scenario. But that's what people don't realize about the MLS draft is that it's not a guaranteed contract. You're just getting your rights drafted. You're not getting drafted and immediately getting a contract.
Right.
They're drafting a lot of guys in late rounds as camp bodies. They're going to bring you in for 2 weeks, and then it's like, see you, bud.
So it was one of those situations. So when I was graduating and started looking at my options, I had options to play in a couple MLS Next systems. Sure. But that was brand new as well, whatever it was, 4 years ago. So it was their first year doing MLS Next.
Yeah, that would have been 2022. That would have been the launch of MLS Next Pro.
So I was looking at it saying, I don't want to play with 15-year-olds, sorry. So I'm going to go play USL. So I got a contract in Pittsburgh and had a couple good years there. And definitely enjoyed my time. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you played a ton for Pittsburgh across 2 seasons, right? 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
65 appearances, like 3,700 minutes. What was the jump like for you? Like, when you walked into some of those first training sessions, was there a jump? Did you feel comfortable? Like, I'm curious from Michigan to Pittsburgh Riverhounds, how that felt.
I felt comfortable. I felt confident. I felt like I was doing super well. So I was technically on trial. I felt like I was doing super well, and the coach just would not sign me. And there were a few of us in that position. So like a couple of my closest buddies, I was on trial with Luke Biazzi. He's at Phoenix now. Mm-hmm. Toby Sims, he's at Greenville now. And then we joke with one of our guys, Nate Dos Santos. They signed him right away, so we were always kind of bitter toward him.
Sure, yeah. He's in Tampa now, right? After having a couple of successful years in Charleston.
We were pretty annoyed by that. But it's one of those situations where I feel like the intensity there from the head coach at the time was just different level. After, each week, if you're on trial, you go up to the offices and you have meetings, let's say. I never had a meeting, but if you're getting released, you get called into the office. You get let out the back door, and like you don't even say goodbye to people. It's crazy. It's pretty traumatic. So it's an intense couple weeks. But yeah, luckily it worked out for a handful of us. We got signed, and those teams went on to do quite well, particularly my second year in Pittsburgh. We won the Players' Shield and did really well over there and enjoyed it.
Yeah, you had to, that 2023, you guys were good. You unfortunately lost to Louisville in a penalty shootout, but you got to the quarterfinals of the Open Cup. You knocked out the Revs and the Crew on that run. That must have been like, what's the most memorable thing from that season? Is it the Open Cup run? Is it the winning the Players' Shield? Like, what stands out to you when you look back at that season?
Yeah, I think on a personal level, I think that was super exciting. I got to play away at Gillette in New England, and just kind of going out onto the field and seeing you're playing against Josie Altidore and Omar Gonzalez, and those are guys who were in the national team when I was growing up. So it's like playing that game against them, and I got an assist that game, and we won 1-0. It was just
so sick.
On a personal level, that was super memorable and an awesome moment.
Yeah, you're playing in the Patriots Stadium. And you're like, that's a real like walk out and be like, wow, this is like, I'm really here right now.
Yeah, so that was all exciting. We got to win against Crew at home, and then the Open Cup is funny because each round you see more MLS starters. So like we play against New England, and it's essentially all their subs. It's like guys who aren't getting a lot of minutes. Then you play home against Columbus. Now it's round of 16. All right, they're going to start maybe 3 or 4 starters against you, and the rest are subs.
Yeah.
And so you're like, all right, you win that game too. Then you show up away against Cincinnati in their stadium, and you see all 11 of their normal starters, and you're like, oh boy.
Yeah, it's usually the quarterfinals when it gets serious. Yeah. Like usually those MLS tubs are like, just throw them out there. But once you get to the quarterfinals, they start sniffing a trophy, and they're like, all right, just roll the first 11 out there, and it becomes a lot more difficult.
It gets it's exciting. It's amazing to get to play in some of those stadiums, but it definitely gets more and more difficult as you go.
Maybe a little bit of a bummer that the Open Cup is sort of like diminished now. I don't know.
Yeah, they only have like half of the MLS.
Yeah, like we're not playing in Open Cup this year because only if you qualified for playoffs last year do you get put into it. So it just feels a little like diluted. I don't know. It's just kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Right. Like
it's an exciting time.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's like if you go far in it, like cool, but it doesn't feel like it has the same weight. Like when you guys made the quarterfinals, like you're knocking out 2 MLS teams in the way, and it feels like it's got a little bit more weight to it.
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement around it.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less now.
Yeah, look, stuff evolves. Like that's how it is. But like, it is a little bit of a bummer that you're losing a little bit of that magic from some of those experiences.
Yeah.
But okay, into 2023, really successful year.
Right.
Like obviously you have an assist at Gillette Stadium. You guys win the Players' Shield, all that kind of stuff. So why not stick around? Were you just looking to test free agency? Like, how did you end up in Rhode Island, and what did that offseason look like for you?
Yeah, I think was one of those things. So I think loved being in Pittsburgh. It was exciting. It's a great city. Loved the group of guys, but it's one of those places that at the time they probably had less resources, and that's just kind of how it is. They had less resources financially, but also just less resources like in terms of taking care of players.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that like stuff can change quickly for clubs in this league. Like now they're building a stadium and probably starting to do a little bit better. But yeah, there are a lot of like this club here was in 2023 and 2022 was in a very different place than like where it is now in 2026 while you're here. So it is important to remember this like this isn't a comment about Riverhounds right now. Maybe it's anyways. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think just seeing what was out there, seeing an opportunity to go to a club that, had a lot of ambition. They were building an unbelievable stadium. The meetings that I had with the coaches at Rhode Island really encouraged me, made me think it was a project that was worth, taking a chance on. They were brand new to the league, so it's a big chance, but
expansion teams are always a gamble.
Exactly. It's a gamble, but they made me feel confident that there was a lot going into it, a lot of resource going into it, a lot of thought going into it. And I went ahead and took the leap.
Yeah, absolutely. And that went well as well. You've read the tea leaves quite well on every move you made. Yeah. Michigan weren't that good the year before you got there. You got there and they came good.
Right.
Went to Pittsburgh instead of going to MLS. That worked out. Gambled on an expansion team. That worked out. Right. So you made 63 appearances, like over 4,500 minutes. You guys were obviously the runners-up in 2024, making that final. Do you feel like that move paid off? I mean, you gambled on it, and it seemed to have been a good experience. They built an incredible stadium. You guys had a successful team on the field. What are your overall thoughts on how your time was in Rhode Island?
It was a great experience. I think it paid off great. I think, I was promised that the stadium would be top of the line and that it would be ready for that second season, and they came through on that promise. I was promised that we would sign a competitive roster of guys. They came through on that promise. And it was a great experience. I loved the city over there. It was a great opportunity. What an
interesting place to live. Yeah. Right? Like
it's a small state, but I lived in Providence. I think it's a great city. It had sort of a similar college town feel. Brown University is there, and it gave me the opportunity personally to live with my now fiance. And so we, got to spend a couple years there and get a dog. And so personally, it was a great experience. Loved living there. They came through with their promises, and so loved it.
Amazing. Runners up that first year as an expansion team. Like what a journey. And you guys went on the road and were just like road warriors in those playoffs. Right. It was the story of the year. What was that playoff run like from a positive standpoint? Because obviously, like you end up losing in the final, which leaves a little bit of a sour taste. But I mean, what a ride through the playoffs there.
No, it was really exciting, and I think it started a few weeks before the playoffs. We just got on a great run. The group really came together. We started winning. Just a lot of games, kind of like you alluded to it early on, but just there was a great stubbornness to that team. Of even if we didn't have 50% of the ball, even if we had 40% or 45% of the ball, we were going to be stubborn. We were going to be hard to beat, and we were going to score goals on the counter. And it was just a great group that came together at the right time. We saw Phoenix do it. I think the year before that, they won all their games on the road, and so we believed that we could do the same. And had a great run, won the East, and just in the end, I think going away to Colorado is just such a difficult game every time.
Well, trust me, we were in that Western Conference final. I was there freezing my butt off in Colorado when we lost 1-0 in that Western Conference final. So
they make it difficult. So obviously you want to come away with everything, and we gave it all we had, and but it was a great run.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that well because obviously we were making our way to the Western Conference at the time. I started at the club that August, so I came in like similarly. Las Vegas Lights got hot at the end of the year. Everything kind of came together under Dennis Sanchez and that group, made a run through, and we were tracking you guys to the Eastern Conference because like if you guys had gone through, we were going to host the final here.
Wow.
So like I remember being on the sideline and like tracking the Rhode Island score because that game kicked off before, and we saw that you guys won the game. And so then it was like we went into that game knowing that if we won, we were hosting. So I was freaking out on the business side because I was like, holy crap, we have so much work to do to host a US World Cup final. And then unfortunately it didn't work out for us either. But yeah, what a crazy time. And then 2025 was another successful year. Got knocked out in the playoffs again as well, but similar style of team. You guys opened a new stadium. What was it like that first at Centerville Bank Stadium? What was it like?
It was great. I think, the comparison would kind of be Louisville. I think that was like what you saw as sort of the benchmark of what a great stadium could be. And I think Centerville is, at least at that level. I think they did a great job with it. They have a great community behind them, a great, set of fans behind them. And so, on that end of things, I think they did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. What was 2025 like? Because obviously you lose in a final, and that's a really tough pill to swallow.
Right. And
you come back with a similar group, you refresh the squad. What was that like trying to bounce back from that and put together another good year?
Yeah, I think it gives you a lot of belief, that you can compete with the best teams in the league. And so we go in, with that belief. I think we had not the greatest season, to be honest. I mean, we finished 7th.
Yeah.
So we were solid. We always believed in ourselves. We always felt like it would turn around. It was always just kind of for me personally, and I think for the team, it was kind of a stop-start year of like, okay, there would be a couple good results, and then it feels like a step backward. And then so trying to find our rhythm kind of the whole way. On a personal note, I was just kind of struggling in and out with injury for a little while. But the team, again, got hot at the right time, and the guys were able to come together, win a couple great games toward the end of the year, and then take that into playoffs and have a lot of momentum. So I think it's just one of those things that if you have that experience a couple times in a row, like coming here with that, I know that if we can get hot at the right time, anything can happen. And so trying to bring that with you is just bringing that belief and trying to translate that to everyone.
Yeah, that's what this league's about, right? Like you see so many teams in this league have really dominant regular seasons, but because of the playoff system, because it's just one-off games, 4 rounds, it's really more about who's putting it together in September and October heading into November. Like that is, I think in this league, the number one most important thing, like beyond anything else.
For sure. And no matter how the first part of the season goes, obviously you want it to go as well as possible. You want to be competing.
Still got to get in playoffs. So.
You want to be competing for a player's shield, but outside of that, you want to be putting yourself in a position for a home playoff game. And that can happen, if you get hot at any point through the season. If you string a few wins together, all of a sudden the table looks way different.
Mm-hmm. I think especially this Western Conference this year is tight.
Yeah.
Like you can make a really reasonable case for everyone in the Western Conference to be a playoff team and put it together, or even be a home playoff team. So people are going to be taking points off each other all year long. There's no one really going to run away with it, right? Like Louisville is starting to separate themselves at the top of the Eastern Conference. There isn't really a team like that right now in the West that's going to just separate. For sure. It sets it up interestingly, right, for the rest of the year. And I think is encouraging, just considering how new this group is, a couple issues here, but this is not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Right. Like as long as you can figure it out over the summer going into the fall, that's where it becomes important. So, okay. You had another really successful 2 years in Rhode Island, and you end up in Las Vegas.
Right.
What the heck? How'd it go down?
It was kind of the same thing. So I was lucky enough going into my contract with Rhode Island to sign a 2-year contract, so have that bit of stability. Mm-hmm. And then once that was set to expire, got the chance to be in free agency again and see what was out there. And, in conversations that I had with my agent, I knew I wanted to come west. I hadn't had the opportunity to experience that yet. I played college at home in Michigan, and I played on the East for 4 seasons. And I wanted to know what life would be like playing on the West Coast, close enough and being as close to family as I could be. So when this opportunity came around, and I was able to have a few conversations with Devin, and just believed in the ideas that he was telling us, and believed in the opportunity here.
Great. We've talked a lot about how that settled in and all of that kind of stuff. On a more personal note, we had a bye week the other week. You mentioned earlier in the pod, and Melissa will kill me if I don't ask about it.
Right.
But you flew home to New York and got engaged.
Yes.
So first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
Second off, how did the plans go down? Did you execute well? Do you feel like you got it right?
I feel like executed extremely well at a high level. I feel like there were a lot of logistics involved because with this job, there's not a lot of off weekends. So when you get 3 days, I think it was 3, we get Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you got to make the most of them. So we had a game Saturday against Sacramento. Final whistle blows. I run inside, get changed, go catch a flight overnight to New York. So ran inside, got changed, got over to the airport, caught my flight, got about an hour of sleep on the plane. And then, I was fortunate. So like in the lead up, I was able to communicate with, a few close friends, and her family. They live out in Connecticut, so it was close by to New York, and able to make arrangements so that, we were able to get the proposal done. Luckily, she said yes, and then we were able to have dinner with her family and see a few close friends. And beforehand, it was nice. I was able to visit Irvine and see my family, and I got to show my, family and my grandmother's the ring and everything, and got to involve them in that way. So it was great. Logistically, went as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, congratulations. Is she living on the East Coast? Is that why it had to happen that way?
She is. She's a rowing coach for Brown University.
Oh,
so
okay, cool.
Still living in Providence right now.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's turn it towards the rest of the season and just wrap things up here.
Sure.
What for you, and we've touched on this a little bit, what for you needs to happen here for this season to be successful, both as a team and individually?
Yeah, I think one big strength of the group right now is just the environment of the locker room. I think the togetherness, the belief in each other, having each other's backs is really high right now. And that can go away in teams when you are losing games, when you're struggling to pick up points, when you see yourself falling in the table. So I think right now, just keeping that togetherness, keeping that self-belief and belief in each other, we'll string together a couple wins. Like, it's coming. And just having that belief that it's coming, I think is the main thing. Like, it's not any one thing on the field. Like, we're good enough. We've shown we can score plenty of goals. I think once we see, it's almost like, in basketball, you see the ball go through the net. Like, you see a win, and all of a sudden, okay, you have one. You build off that. You string together another one. You string together another one. Once we see that we can do that, I think this team can go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's pretty accurate. And I think this team right now does the hardest thing there is to do in this sport, which is score a bunch of goals.
Right.
Like, that's the hardest thing to do, right? The other stuff is easy to fix.
Right.
And keeping that belief is going to be really important. Final question for you. And I like to ask this to everybody because I'm interested in how you view your life to this point in your career. But having talked through from growing up in Ann Arbor to going to Michigan, going to Pittsburgh, Rhode Island, now in Vegas, what's the most important thing for you that has developed you into the person and the player that you are today? What stands out as like, that was a pivotal moment in my career or my life so far?
So I don't know if it's a moment. I think it's just the people I grew up with. I think, the way my parents were, the way my siblings were growing up in Michigan. I think, having that opportunity to be the youngest child and compete against my siblings every day in backyard basketball, backyard football, backyard baseball, having that fun competition of like, yeah, I took it super serious, but maybe they didn't. they were a little bit nicer about it.
This is your World Cup, winning a backyard baseball game, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I would get in trouble because I'd get too mad after losing. I wasn't a graceful loser. But But no, I think just growing up in that environment where I was able to be challenged every day and have fun with it, and have grass to run around in, and have that, was a blessing to grow up that way. So yeah, just being surrounded by those older siblings, my parents, and everything like that, I think definitely shaped me.
Yeah. That's a good answer, I think, and seems to be something that's fueled your career all the way through. Sure. So, Marc, thanks for coming on today. I appreciate some great stories. Best of luck this weekend. So you can catch Marc and the rest of the team this Saturday, Cashman Field, May 2nd for UNLV night, taking on Lexington SC back in the league to get this team on track and heading towards a good playoff run at the end of the year. So, Marc, thank you, and we'll see you next time on the pod.